All right, good evening, everybody. If you're just joining, you're welcome. We're still on our journey of fertility, and tonight we're going to deal with one of the few conditions that affect the uterus. Right, and I told you there are three of them basically: fibroid, adenomyosis, and endometriosis. Right, and I've talked about fibroid in detail. I've talked about adenomyosis yesterday, and today let's look at endometriosis, right? Because when you understand these things, you will not approach fertility with fear. Because people who have been trying to conceive, everything they fear them because they don't want to go to the clinic and hear another bad news. They go again and hear another bad news. They now remember the past. Oh, maybe it's that thing I did. So calm down, calm down. Get knowledge first, right? So that it will be easy to identify what exactly is wrong with you, right? Because if you continue in this ignorance, you will not only going to spend too much money, effort, and time, you will be exploited, right? Ask people who are trying to conceive. They'll tell you have spent thousands, hundreds of thousands, and yet they are still spending. Why? Because they are doing that in ignorance. So let's help you. Is that okay? Let's help you. So tonight we will talk about the details about endometriosis. And this is the disease that makes the body bleed in places it was never supposed to bleed. You know, have you heard of somebody who menstruates inside her eyeball? Terrible. How come? How did this happen? All right, we'll get some details tonight. So that's why I need you to tap on your screen so that we help other people too. If you're just joining, you're welcome. Right? Do you know that for some people, periods are uncomfortable? We talked about menstrual period the other time, and I told you what a normal menstrual period is supposed to be, right? And I've said already that if it's debilitating, in other words, if it's affecting your day, it's not normal. So just go and look for that video. It's on my YouTube channel, Dr. Godwin EMB. So search it. Everything about menstrual period, sperm, anything fertility, just search it under my name. To come. Is that okay? So that you listen over and over again, right? And the good thing is that we try to give you in a way that is not too big for you to understand, right? Even the market woman in the street would understand the way we put it, so that it's for everybody, right? It's for everybody. So we remove all the big grammar so you will not be afraid, right? Somebody said if they want to make you spend a lot of money, they'll blow big grammar and you spend. Well, I've removed all the big grammar, so go and learn it for free. Is that okay? So I was saying that for some people, periods are uncomfortable. Yeah, uncomfortable. For some others, still, they become debilitating. Yeah, exhausting, and their life is disrupted because of pain that will cause them to call up on the floor simply because you're a woman, right? Some will miss work, some will miss school. I remember years ago when I was head of operations of a certain organization, when a lady tell me, hello sir, I'm coming to work today already, because I know, because of my knowledge, they had it easy. But just imagine they had a boss who don't know nothing, right? How your pain, you will come to work with her. Right? So this type of pain will cause you to miss work or school, vomiting. Some will even vomit. Knacking is another story. When you are knacking, you are feeling pain, right? That's chronic pelvic pain. And in all this, there is the struggle of infertility, right? And you know what? Even with all these plenty symptoms, many people are still told, oh, don't worry, it's just normal cramps, right? Some others say, periods are supposed to hurt. Have you heard that before? That menstrual periods are supposed to hurt? Really? All right. It's because you've not met me before. Now you have met me. Let me help you with that information. While the worst of it all is when they tell you, oh, come on, you're a woman, you're overreacting. It will go away. True, it will go away, but it will come back again. But is that supposed to be so? So tonight we'll look at the under the surface, the logical dynamics that is going on there, right? Because this is a disease that confuses even your immune system itself. This one, endometriosis. Even your immune system is confused, right? So if you're ready for the gist, before we dive in, just talk to me in the comment section. Just type ready. Keep tapping on your screen, type ready and share so that the algorithm will understand that something is about to go down. Who's ready for the gist tonight? Who's ready for the gist tonight? If you're just joining, you're welcome. So I'm waiting for us to get ready for the gist. If you're just joining, you're welcome. We're talking about endometriosis. Yeah? Endometriosis. All right. Let's go back to our music. So let's continue the gist. So as usual, we'll start from the very beginning. Right? We start from the very beginning. What is endometriosis? That's where we should start from. Now remember, if you were not here yesterday, okay, you missed that part. So just go and check out the video on YouTube, right? Very important for you to do so. So endometriosis occurs when the endometrial, the tissues that looks like endometrium, exists outside the uterus. Remember yesterday we talked about adenomyosis, and that is where the endometrial tissue found within the muscular wall of the uterus. But in this case, endometriosis, endometrial tissues or tissues that behave like the endometrium are found outside the uterus, whether it's in the brain, the eye, the abdomen, outside the uterus, right? You know that normally, yeah, endometrial tissue normally should belong inside the endometrial cavity, and the endometrial tissue will respond to hormonal changes monthly, cyclical hormonal changes, which will lead it to get thickened, to break down and shed as menstrual bleeding. But in endometriosis, these tissues that are found all over the place, right? They're outside you. They may just be in the ovaries, may just be somewhere in your abdomen, may just be somewhere. I mentioned of the eye the other time, may just somewhere in your brain. Right? Very rare though, but so this tissue that appear elsewhere outside the pelvis or anywhere else you want to find them, they will also be behaving like the endometrium. So anything that happens to the endometrium in the course of the month will be happening to them wherever they are. Are you following this gist? Now, the common locations you may find them, what is common, the ones I mentioned are very rare though, but it does happen. Common locations, you find them in the ovaries, the fallopian tube, the pelvic lining, behind the uterus, you find them there. You find them in the bladder region and even the bowel surface. Endometrial tissues, right? Now, the one I mentioned about eye and brain, they are very distant, but it's rare, but it has happened before. Now, these tissues, where they are outside the uterus, they will be responding to hormones just the way your uterus is responding to hormones, right? So every cycle, what happens? The tissue becomes active. They become inflamed wherever they are, and they will bleed the same way your uterus will bleed because they have the same tissue, right? And the accumulation of that bleeding will cause irritation where they are. Are you following this gist? Right? Now, because the uterus have space for it to bleed out, that is the normal process. But these ones, wherever they are, they don't have a place to bleed whatever they are bleeding out. They are trapped and stuck where they are. Right? So there are those who have this type of condition, endometriosis, and they are in severe pain. Right? So the question is, why does this endometrium cause so much pain? Why does it cause so much? For obvious reasons. Inflammation. The tissue will be inflamed where it is. Right? There is also adhesion formation. What does that mean? Over time, this inflammation where they are will create scar tissue, right? Because you create scar tissue, then causing the organs. Normally, let me tell you something. Even though you have different organs in different places, just imagine those of you that like jumping all over the place, you go for gym, you do all what you do, all those organs are all moving, they're all moving inside your body, and yet you don't feel anything. Why do you think it's so? Because nature has designed it in a way that they glide freely. They glide freely against themselves, right? That is normal thing. So when you now have this type of tissue, causing adhesion or scarring, that free glide between organs will not be there again. So definitely it's going to cause you pain. So if it's in the pelvis, it's going to cause you severe pelvic pain. If it's in the abdomen or around your bowel, it's going to cause you pain in those places. Right? Now, the third reason why it will cause you so much pain. If you're here, please tap on your screen, share the live. 1 minute, I'll be right back. All right. So that is the second thing. The third thing is the third reason why this condition will cause you so much pain is the nerve sensitization. Right, nerve is sensitized because when there is a chronic inflammation, what it does is it will change the way the nerves will respond. So that's basically what it does. So your nervous system becomes hyperactive. Remember, the nervous system is the reason why you are feeling something. So now it's hyperactive, definitely. At the slightest, it will cause you more pain, right? So you see those individuals who experience severe pain, even where the lesion is small, because of nerve sensitization. Now, when these tissues, this endometriosis, find themselves in the ovary, they will form ovarian cysts. Yes, endometriosis can form ovarian cysts. But this ovarian cyst is formed because of monthly bleeding within that space. Right? So what you are seeing inside is not just clear fluid like others. It's gonna be dense fluid. Don't worry about the description. So we call that endometrioma, right? And in many cases, we call it chocolate cyst. So the next time you hear chocolate cyst, they're talking about endometrioma or endometriosis that is existing in the ovaries, right? So chocolate sounds yummy, but the serious trouble, right? So the chocolate cyst is formed as a result of accumulation of blood that could not exit, right? These tissues are bleeding every month, but nowhere to release it. So what does it do? It forms a cyst, and now it's looking chocolatey, right? That nonchalant girl is here. Good evening. You're welcome. You're hearing chocolate cyst. Oh boy. All right, at least you know now. So the next time you hear chocolate cyst, it's not the yummy. It's serious trouble. Right? It's serious trouble. Yes, there's something called chocolate cyst. And basically it's because the endometrial tissue finds that for some reason the endometrial tissue is found somewhere around the ovaries, and it bleeds every month. That bleeding does not have anywhere to escape to. So what does it do? It gathers itself and forms a cyst. And that cyst is called chocolate cyst. All right? So now you know. Let me clap for myself. So they are looking so chocolatey because as blood stays there long enough, it changes color, right? It changes color. So it's definitely be looking chocolatey. Yeah? But remember, it is trouble. Even though we call it chocolate cyst, it is trouble. Why? Because this cyst may affect ovarian function. These cysts may affect the egg environment. Remember, it is found around the ovaries. So it's going to be affecting everything concerning the egg and the functioning of the ovaries. Therefore, it's going to affect your fertility dynamics. So, chocolate is the serious business. So you want to sit down with your doctor, let them help you. Is that okay? Now, for those who were here yesterday, somehow the both of them, yesterday I talked about adenomyosis and today I'm talking about endometriosis. Somehow their description sounds similar, but there is important difference between them, right? So that you don't get confused. Is that okay? Endometriosis is a condition where endometrial tissue is outside the uterus. Endometrial tissue is outside the uterus. That is endometriosis. Whereas adenomyosis, endometrial tissue, they are not outside the uterus, but they are inside the wall of the uterus, making the uterus bulky, as in bigger, heavier, and menstruation or monthly cycle very painful. Very painful. Both will respond to hormone the same way. Both will cause inflammation, and both of them also are associated with pain. So that's what is similar about them. But the difference is one is within the wall of the uterus, the other one is outside the uterus somewhere. Is that okay? So if that differentiation is clear, the two of them affect fertility. So if this differentiation is clear, why is it that endometriosis can affect fertility the same way we talked about adenomyosis yesterday? Why does this happen? If you're here, you want to tap on your screen, share the live, and tell me you are ready for the next information. Talk to me. You know, when we are having this kind of discussions, there are always difficult parts to talk about, because the reason why you are hearing it the way you do is because I try to water it down so that I don't scare you. I don't scare you. Why? We're looking for solution. We're not trying to give you verdicts. Looking for solution. Even if the situation is there, what can we do? Right? What can we do? But first, why is it that endometriosis can affect your fertility? And this is one of the most emotionally difficult parts, right? You know that for me as a person, I don't know about other people, it is easier to explain it in details like this on the live stream than to sit one-on-one with somebody that really have the situation. What do you want to tell them? You know why? Because it's so emotional, right? So we too, after work, we need hugs too, you know, because we don't see bad things. So make sure you appreciate your doctors. They are also your pain affects them, but they will not tell you. But I will tell you. I've seen some cases that does not leave my mind for months. It affects my mental health, right? That's why I tell you, whatever you need to do to help other people, please do. Don't exploit them. Is that okay? All right, where was I? So we're talking about why endometriosis affects fertility. Is that Martha? Martha is here. Good evening, Martha. Good to see you. You're welcome. So, the first good news before I go to the bad news, right? So, the first good news is that not everyone with endometriosis becomes infertile. Is that not good news? Let's celebrate that one. Let us celebrate that one. Right? Not every endometriosis. Not every endometriosis becomes, not everyone with endometriosis becomes infertile. That is the first news. But the fertility can be affected through multiple pathways. And I hope that is not your case. But if it is, we can advise you. Is that okay? Through multiple pathways. I'll just list a few of them so that we'll start from there. Is that okay? So the first is what we've mentioned before, the inflammation that is caused around the reproductive organ. Right? Why? Because inflammation will disrupt how the egg is picked up by the fallopian tube. But let me tell you something. Oh boy, I tell you, this your uterus is so intelligent. I tell you, you never know. So let me just digress, because some people are feeling all serious already. So let's digress. Bola boy, you're welcome. Let's digress a little. Now, let's say this is your ovary. This my green screen is vanishing my hand. Let's say this is, where do I put it? Okay. Let's say this is your ovary, right? And this is your fallopian tube, right? The fallopian tube has those finger-like ends that stays over the ovary like this. So as ovulation is about to happen, so this is what it does. Those fingers, they rub against the ovary like this. So as ovulation is getting near, the fingers will feel the bulgy part, because the bulgy part, or the part that is most bulgy, is the part that is more likely to ovulate. So the fingers will just go there and my green screen is vanishing me. So the fingers will just go there and keep rubbing against it, until ovulation takes place. Then the egg will be beat into the fallopian tube. Miracle? It's biology, actually. It's biology. So now, in the presence of endometriosis, which is now causing inflammation around your pelvic organs, do you know what happens? That inflammation will disrupt how the what do you call it now? The fallopian tube ends, how it picks up the egg and leads them into the fallopian tube. It will affect that process. See, take care of. I cannot talk. Women are so, you don't even know what you carry. That's the problem. You don't know what you carry. You carry your whole universe. Only you. And you're messing it up with bad lifestyle. Anyway, so I was saying that endometriosis will affect your fertility through these things. And the first one is inflammation, and this inflammation will disrupt how eggs are picked up. I needed to explain all that so that I can understand this disruption, because I don't know how to tell you something and not explain it, right? My wahala too much. I think my ITK too much. So that is the first thing this inflammation will cause. Disrupt how the eggs are picked up. The second thing the inflammation will cause is how sperm cells get to the egg. Now the egg is right there waiting. You know, eggs are just like women, behave like women, right? So they'll just be there. They want you, but they'll just stay there. They wait for you, as if they're like they paying you, right? So, so, so the sperm will hustle its way from the vagina up until it gets to the fallopian tube. Then the gentle movement, peristaltic movement of the fallopian tube plus the tiny hairs that are beating inside will also help to propagate the sperm to reach the egg. You understand that kind of thing? Support system. Go, 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 go until fertilization takes place. Now, if you have the condition endometriosis and is somewhere around the fallopian tube, it is also going to disrupt how sperm moves to locate the egg. So this endometriosis is notorious, very notorious. So that's why you need a gynecologist to help you understand it and manage it for you so that you can attain success of pregnancy. Is that okay? Good evening. Triple Kids is here. You're welcome. If you are just joining, you're welcome. Triple Kids, your badge is gray. You've not dropped a heartbeat for a very long time. If you are here, please tap on your screen, share the live. If you're not following me yet, follow me. Follow me. Like small children would do. I will not be your friend again. If you don't follow me, I will not be your friend. Right? Oh boy. So if you are trying to conceive, do not be agitated. Calm down. Calm down. You must approach your journey from a place of rest and positivity, right? And that is why I present it to you the way I do. So you're not going to use over serious skill spam that's supposed to reach the egg. You know when your mood affects how spam seed. You don't do that. Come and pay me, I'll tell you. Anyway, I put that in the preconception blueprint. Go and download this book, the preconception blueprint. That information is there. How your mood affects the success of sperm journey. They need to knock the vex. You have to be in a constant state of merriment and happiness. That's after you knock and you vex. Which kind of knocking is that? Shift away. All right. So that is the first thing, inflammation. All right. Inflammation is the first thing. The second thing is adhesion. Adhesion as in when the we call it sticky organs. The organs don't have freedom to move. Coffee is here. Coffee, I've not heard from you for a while. What is going on? Are we still together? So I want to hear from you. Thank you. All right. So adhesion. What adhesion does is it distorts your anatomy, right? Why? Because it's as a result of scar tissue. It's this scar tissue that is formed because of endometriosis. They may pull your organ out of position. Just imagine what I described to you earlier. This is your ovary. This is the fallopian tube. Is vanishing. This is your fallopian tube. If naturally, natural biology makes it to be like this. So, right? Tonight, oh, sorry, we're discussing adenomyosis. Sorry about that. So, if this is good evening, Emmy. Emmy is here. Leon is here. Welcome in. So, let's say this is your normal biology. Your ovary, your fallopian tube, like this. Is that okay? I told you they're always moving. The fallopian tube is always moving, right? Now, because of adhesion or the scarring that is caused by endometriosis, it pulls your organ in such a way that you may have this kind of distortion. The fallopian tube is just here doing this thing, and look at where the ovary is. So when is it going to see egg to collect? You see why it's going to affect your fertility. I know you've never seen that picture before, but I'm telling you, right? It's going to affect the mobility of your fallopian tube, right? Because you have open tubes. You can. But what about the function? It has been pulled one direction or is held bound so that it does not function properly. All right? So that is the second thing. That is the second thing. Right? Then the third thing is how the ovarian environment is altered. Endometrioma. Remember endometrioma, chocolate cysts? That endometrioma and inflammation, they can affect egg quality. Egg or ovarian reserve, right? And even follicular function. Why? Because they are distorting the ovarian environment, causing all these many troubles. Endometriosis is a notorious condition, right? So now that you know, you want to take your life seriously. But if you have been diagnosed with it, make sure you hold your doctor with your 2 legs and your 2 hands. Let them manage you correctly. Is that okay? So endometriosis also will cause implantation challenges. Yeah? Why? Because it's all about the inflammation. Why? You have inflammatory signals which may alter the ability for the uterine wall to receive embryo, making the implantation very less efficient, right? Do you understand anything? Do you understand anything at all? Anything I've said tonight? Do you understand anything? Talk to me in the comment section so that we'll continue to the next thing. All right. So, but long story short, another good news is that you have severe pain does not always mean that the disease is severe, right? So calm down. Is that okay? So that you're feeling severe pain doesn't mean that this my matter don't serious. Calm down. Also on the flip side, that the pain is not much does not also mean, it's not a guarantee that the disease is not serious. So that is why it's confusing. You need to sit with your gynae to help you manage it. The most important is how it is managed, right? It is how it is managed. But the problem The problem with endometriosis is that before they will even know and diagnose that this is endometriosis, it would have taken years. Years. Why? Why is it like this? Is it village people matter? Why? After you spend years, they say, "Oh, madam, this problem is endometriosis," and you've seen a lot of professionals until one day somebody said it is endometriosis. The reason is because, like what we started talking about with menstrual periods, right? No, do you know that menstrual pain is often normalized? If I ask us here now, for everybody who knows about menstrual pain, one time or the other, you must have said yourself, or somebody must have told you, if the case is yours, that other one is normal for some people. Then it's not normal. No, 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 no. You don't normalize it. Because when you normalize it, you're going to miss out on important diagnosis. Go and see your doctor. So that is the major problem. That's why a lot of people can have endometriosis for years and it is not properly diagnosed. Because we have all normalized, even medics normalized that menstrual pain is often normal, calm down. Maybe when you're born, it will go away and all those kind of funny things. Uh, the the symptoms of endometriosis actually varies from person to person widely. So you really cannot sit down and pinpoint. There's no one peg fits all symptom to say this is what it is. You understand? So that's why you don't normalize anything. It's teaching time. You save nine, right? And even when you do imaging like ultrasound or even when it is very small, it is either overlooked or it is not picked in imaging. So these are some of the reasons why you may not they may not diagnose it early. They may not diagnose it early, so you just miss it, and in the end, they just discover after 10 years that, oh, sorry, it is right. So I think most of the definitive diagnosis usually would be through surgical visualization, like laparoscopy, right? Don't worry, just have a good gynecologist, you'll be fine, right? All right. No, after hearing all these many things, somebody still asking, but how would I know? How would I know? So how would I know enough not to ignore symptoms? Okay, I'll tell you. I'll tell you. Is that okay? But please share the life. Is that Christine Labelle? Christine Labelle is here. Good evening, Christine Labelle. Good to see you. Coach Minat is here. Hello. Good evening. Good to see you. You're welcome. So we will just look at a few common symptoms that people ignore, so that after today you won't ignore it again. If you're already a mother, you have a girl child, you help them to understand it. If it is you, but more importantly, if you are trying to conceive. Thank you for the heart, me. I appreciate you. Thank you. All right. Common symptoms people ignore with respect to endometriosis. At the end of this live stream, I'm going to ask a question. Oh boy. I'm going to ask a question. If anybody can get that question, if you are trying to conceive, you will get twins. I'm telling you. Ade Love is here. You're welcome. Adi Love, good to see you. Eid Mubarak to you too. You're welcome. At the end of this live stream, I'm going to ask a question. Okay, because no, people will use AI. I wanted to give you 1 week to find out, but some people will use AI. Okay, I'll just let's get there first, right? If you get the question of free IVF, this woman you like better thing. Oh boy. You never can tell. You never can tell. All right. Okay, so let's go to the common symptoms people ignore, right? Because it's important. It's important. You know that many people dismiss symptoms like severe menstrual cramps. Anyway, if you have been here, I've already told you all that. Just go and look for my videos in the YouTube channel, Dr. Godwin EMB. Make sure you subscribe. Don't just watch it. Subscribe. Right? Look for menstrual periods and find out what a normal menstrual period should feel like and what an abnormal. Don't normalize nonsense. And now when it's time to conceive, you now discover there was a problem all the time. Don't be like that. It's not only you. There are even even professionals make that mistake too. So just be smart. So symptoms that people ignore, the first one is severe menstrual cramps. You are just rolling all over the place. Oh, you are crying. All heavens will let loose because menstruation is coming. Well, it's only me that can laugh when I talk about that. Other people tell you sorry. But we are friends now, right? So don't worry. We are together. Don't normalize it. That you have been having severe menstrual cramps from when you were a teenager till today does not mean it's normal. Get evaluated. And look at all the conditions we've mentioned all these days. One of them may just be the problem. That's why I tell you, don't miss the live stream. Otherwise, we'll miss too much. Right? So that's the first thing. The second thing, second common symptom that people overlook. Pain during knacking waiting no good. Oh boy. How can you be having pains when you're knacking waiting no good? Pain during intercourse, that's what I mean, because I know that some people are not from this side of the world, right? Pain during intercourse. That is not normal. Don't normalize it. You need to find out why. For some, it may be one of these conditions. For some, the John Thomas is too large. Why for some, they are maybe dryness and stuff like that. We'll get to all those things much, much later. All right? But when it has to do with this condition, go and investigate first and be sure it is not this that is the problem. Then your mind now can rest. Is that okay? So pain during knacking waiting no good is not normal. It's not normal at all. Because I've seen this a few times. Painful bowel movements during periods. That is not normal. That is not normal. During menstrual periods, you have painful bowel movement. Is your bowel supposed to pain you? You may just be dealing with endometriosis. But because you have normalized the pain, you're going to live with it for a very long time. It is when now you want to have kids that you discover. right? Lady G said, but why large Don Thomas? Nine day. Don't worry. From June 1st, we'll talk about narcology. So I will talk about John Thomas and all those things. I don't want to I don't want to let the cat out of the bag yet. Right? Mrs. Kamara is here. Good evening, you are welcome. Right? So when you have painful bowel movement during your period, it's not normal. It's not normal. As I'm talking now, if you can relate with these symptoms, go and see your doctor tomorrow. Or depending on where you are in the world, today you can go and see your doctor. Is that okay? Chronic pelvic pain, go and rule it out first. What is causing the chronic pelvic pain? Because you cannot sit down and assume, right? Now there are those who have this heavy fatigue during menstruation. That is not normal. That is not normal, right? It's not normal. And of course, if you are trying to conceive, among the many investigations you are doing, one of the things you want to rule out is this condition because it's going to affect your fertility. I'm telling you the truth. Okay? Don't normalize anything. Don't normalize anything. Some of these conditions are progressive. It will start from mild until it becomes so severe that you cannot even salvage your situation again. So don't normalize anything, right? Because you need to understand that you see this endometriosis we're talking about. It's not just affecting just your pelvis, right? It will affect your mental health. Your relationship would have issues, right? It's part of imaging like scan and MRI. So these are the kind of investigations. Scan, if you have a good sonographer, good machine, they can visualize if there is or if there's not. Is that okay? Part of the things they look for in your ultrasound scan as a TTC is any condition that may be affecting your fertility. Is that okay? So I was saying that endometriosis would affect more than just your pelvis. More than just your pelvis. It will affect your mental health. It will. It will affect your relationship. It will. Why? Because knack, V-knack. Every end of cycle, you are rolling up on the floor. Fertility is a challenge. Relationship will have problem. Right? Who wants to be in relation with somebody that complains every time? You complain during knacking, complain every menstruation, you complain from. It's going to affect your relationship big time, right? It's going to affect your work too. It's going to affect your work. I was saying earlier how that when I get people call me, hello, please, I will not come to work today. Women especially, I already know. Right? I already know. To affect your work. But any menstrual pain that is affecting your lifestyle is not normal. It's not normal. It's affecting your sexual well-being. It's not normal. Right? So I'm saying all this to say, don't dismiss it. Don't dismiss it. If you dismiss it, you will assemble in front of your doctor. Don't dismiss it. Right? It's very exhausting when some of these challenges exist. But when you have proper knowledge of what is going on, at least you can now begin to look for the solution correctly instead of just going in cycle, emotional cycle of feeling dismayed, spending money that you are not seeing any results and stuff like that. So it affects your social life too. So just make sure you do the right thing. Someone is asking a question that can someone with endometriosis still conceive naturally? Who is ready to hear that answer? Where is Kiki? Kiki, are you here? She's not here. Kiki is not here. Who is ready for that gist? Can someone with endometriosis can they still conceive naturally? That's a very good question. A very good question. The simplest and fastest answer to that question is yes. Many people do. Many people do. But what is important is understand that endometriosis is not automatic verdict that you are infertile. No, it's not. The reason why I needed to give all the details so that you know how it affects you. Is that okay? So, because of its variation, it varies from person to person. You cannot look at one symptom in everybody and say this is the problem. No, you need to. It's actually patient specific. So that's why your doctor will do due diligence to evaluate you and do what you're supposed to do. Because many people actually, especially those with minimal, less severe cases, they conceive naturally and move on, right? But for some others, they may need some support depending on the extent of the endometriosis, right? So there is hope. There is hope. There is hope. And the hope starts here with knowledge. So that you don't now go and be spending money that you're not supposed to. Right? So before I let you go tonight, one more thing. And just to give you an idea how endometriosis is managed, that is the last thing I want to talk about before I let you go. Right? So who is ready for the gist? Talk to me because I think it's network is just what it is. So who's ready? Who's ready to know? Just to have an idea how it is managed. Right? So that it's important so that you can work with your doctor. Right? At least when you know, one step at a time. That is why you see people like Humble Queen, Coffee, is it that nonchalant girl? I like the approach. They know what. Oh boy, this. I like you people. Don't worry. This year you go test positive. When people are responding to knowledge, you just know that they really need to. Anyway, where was I? This year, positive pregnancy for all of you, because at least even heaven knows that you have tried, right? All right. So how is endometriosis managed? It's very simple. The management will be highly dependent on the severity of the symptoms. Remember, there's no one peg that fits all, right? Um, Also, it will depend on your fertility goals, right? Because some people, um, they are not married yet, but they're just concerned about their health. So the approach may be different. Some they just discovered because they're trying to conceive. The approach may be different. Some maybe in their later years and they are really not trying to conceive. So the approach may be different. So this it depends on the fertility goals and also the extent of the disease, how far it has come, how far it has come. Plus age, plus age, very key. So what your doctor will try to do will be manage the pain because of the pain you are feeling. Your doctor will try to manage the pain, and also they may do one or two hormonal suppressions. Right? Don't worry, it's part of the medication. Right? Then in some selected cases, there may be surgical treatment where they may need to get in there and see what's going on. Right? So while they are doing that, if you are trying to conceive, they'll also be walking you through your fertility journey. Right? But remember, whatever they do will be specific to your case, not a one peg fits all, not for everybody. So depending on where you are, your age, your fertility goals, and the severity of the problem. So that is how they will handle it. All right. Okay. You don't do. The knowledge is you don't do. Right.